This video will show members of StudentSpokes how they can use StudentSpokes to help their children or other students to learn in a fun and independent way. Since children under 18 cannot join StudentSpokes, you will need to create their special student account, and then manage it for them. Additionally, you will need to enter the appropriate settings for your students, as well as the prize they will earn when they succeed. For example, with math for prizes, you will need to enter the criteria for either addition, subtraction, multiplication, or division, depending on what your students need to learn. The prize could be a chocolate milkshake, a round of miniature golf, an extra hour of TV, or whatever your child is interested in. After signing in, I have clicked on my name and selected my member dashboard, selected the button labeled StudentSpokes Admin, and finally, I have clicked the button labeled My Students, which is where I will now begin. This screen displays all your students, of which you are also a student by default. In fact, you can learn a variety of subjects where you set up prizes for yourself as well. You can also add your children or other students where they can learn and earn prizes. Preparing a student for StudentSpokes is a two-step process. First, you have to add them as a student, and second, you have to configure whichever applications they will be using to learn and earn their prizes. In this example, I am signed in as Jane Doe, so I see I am already there. I have already added my son, Johnny, and I have configured the applications he is using. You will notice, however, that since Johnny is under 18, I am the one that can reset his password by clicking on the Reset Password link if that needs to be done. I will now add my daughter, Sally, so she too can begin to learn her math skills. To do that, I will click the button labeled Add New Student. When you add a student, your screen will display the official StudentSpokes Join screen, but only for students. A username and password are all that are required. Once we add a new student, they will be added to your list of students that you manage. Keep in mind that multiple members of StudentSpokes can add the same student, depending on their relationship with the student. For example, teachers could add the same person as a student that the parent can add. When this happens, the student would have multiple sign-in credentials, with different access to the prize apps depending on how they signed in. Elle will now click the Applications link to configure the applications for Sally. These applications were created at the national level, or a different official level that you set as your default locales. This list will also include the applications you have created. To set up math for prizes for Sally, I will select Math. You only need to configure the settings for this student. So, if they will be working on multiplication, you can leave the other operations as they are. Remember, the primary goal of our prize applications is for the student to learn independently, without being nagged. And the best way you can generally do that is by configuring the settings so the goals can reasonably be met with persistence and hard work, combined with an appropriate prize. Once you have done this correctly, all you need to do is get out of the way, leave your student alone so they can earn their prize. If the student does not respond with enthusiasm, either the goals are too high or the prize does not justify the effort. I will now return to the StudentSpokes admin screen. The button labeled My Applications will only be there if you are a verified member. Verified members receive a number of perks in StudentSpokes, including being able to create their own prize applications. It costs $3 per month to be verified, and you can become verified by clicking on the Member Plan button on your member dashboard. Otherwise, you will be limited to the applications that others at the national, state, county, or city have created, and where you have selected them as your default city or county. However, the only students that will be able to use the applications you create are the students you have added. So, if you are a verified member, please watch the My Applications video. That concludes our discussion of how a StudentSpokes member can provide an incredibly fun, yet very positive learning experience for their children and their students.